Today, August 12th, which is two things. One, it's Middle Child Day. Secondly, it's the day of the global strike called by the International Middle Child Union. If you are a middle child in a family, this is your opportunity to get some attention. And that's basically what the strike is all about, getting attention. And a few weeks back, we initially talked about this because I ended up finding this on my email, and I said I have to talk to the fellow who started this union, the International Middle Child Union. Their motto, "We are so screwed." And the fellow who founded the union and is fronting this entire strike that's happening today joins us on the afternoon news here at WRJN. From Strike Central, we introduce you to Bruce Hopman, if you didn't hear him before when we had him on the program. Bruce, how's it going with that strike today, sir?
It's going good, Ted. I wish. How do you say "we are so screwed" in Latin? That would maybe make it sound a little more official. But I'll look into that after the strike is over.
Yeah, do they have Latin on Babelfish?
I'm on it. Trust me. Believe me. After the strike, I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands. I'm all over the Latin motto.
Okay, I like that.
The strike is going well. Look, I set out to do two things with this: raise awareness of this forgotten holiday, and to have some fun doing it. I'm having fun, and I think we are raising awareness. I'm noticing a lot of chatter out there. There's a lot of stuff going on Twitter. There's personally getting a lot of coverage, doing a lot of interviews. I've been talking all day to people all across the country. So I think we might be achieving our goal. Look, I now know what it feels like, I think, being a firstborn, because I'm not used to getting all this attention. And it's kind of nice. If middle children got this kind of attention all the time, I don't think we'd ever complain about anything. So I'm going to say everything's going really well right now. I'm really happy. Now, as for tomorrow, when we stop getting any attention, this could be a problem. And so for that reason, we, and I say we when it's just me, we at the International Middle Children Union have raised the Middle Child Syndrome Advisory Alert to code red, because I think tomorrow is going to be a big problem for a lot of us. So be aware, be a little extra sensitive to the middle child in your life, because, the day after being paid a little attention, when you get paid no attention, it's back to business as usual. So that could be a problem.
Well, here's your next step, Bruce, because, like with the UN, the United Nations, they have the year of something, whatever that may be.
I like this.
Yeah,
I like where you're going.
Lobby them to do the year of the middle child. That way you have an entire year's worth of it, and it's like you got a year's worth a year before you end up having to put that code red warning up.
I've got a few. Well, let me bounce a few ideas off you, because I'm thinking, first of all, there's a few problems. We already spoke of the irony of this, this holiday that, we complain about nobody paying attention to us, and then we get a holiday that nobody pays any attention
right.
to. But the other irony is, I'm sure maybe you are aware of this. I hope not. Today is also National Vinyl Record Day. It's National Sewing Machine Day,
really?
And it's World Elephant Day. Now, it's bad enough having a holiday that nobody pays attention to, but do we really have to share our day with elephants and sewing machines? So I'm thinking that I should be lobbying to move this holiday that nobody knows when it is to another day that maybe would be easier to remember for people. Now, it would seem to me to make more sense for Middle Child's Day to be on, let's say, July 2nd, which is actually the very middle day. It's the smack dab in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Now, that would make sense. It's near 4th of July. Maybe people pay a little more attention to it. This is why I think whoever did create Middle Child's Day, and it wasn't me, but I think whoever did create it wasn't a middle child. I think they were probably a firstborn, and they just said, you know what, let's give them a holiday, we'll shut them up, and we'll put it in the middle of August, and then we could just ignore it. So that might be the next move, but I like this year of the middle child.
Yeah, well, Bruce, I think I understand why they ended up putting Middle Child Day on the same day as Worldwide Elephants Day. Because a middle child never forgets.
Ooh, that was good. I like that. Well, we'll see. Like I said, nobody knows when it is anyway, so moving it shouldn't be that big a problem. Right? But
I like your idea of right in the middle of the year, June 2nd, but then the next thing, what if it falls on 4th of July weekend. The next thing, now it's a situation where you got everybody overlooking it because unless, of course, you end up shifting the emphasis from the independence of our country to the middle child and having these cookouts.
That's interesting, too. I wonder how many of our founding fathers were middle children.
That's a great question.
So, again, I thought I wasn't going to have anything to do tomorrow, but clearly, after this phone call, I've got my work cut out for me. There's much work to be done. Much work to be done.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning. By the way, one thing we should do, and we did this the last time that we talked, when we were talking about the fact that this middle child strike was going on, we've got to do your rallying cry. I will ask the questions, and you can do the answers.
Sure.
What do we want?
Attention.
When do we want it?
Now, or as soon as you're done paying attention to our older and younger siblings.
And that's
it. It doesn't flow off the tongue, but it really, I think, captures the essence of what we're after here today. Look, this today for middle children, just about celebrating today.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, for us, this is like Christmas in August. Without all the presents and the celebration and the attention, but it's just like Christmas. I have posted at the blog, and it's smackdabtheblog.blogspot.com, a Middle Child's Day greeting cards. These are free, absolutely no cost. Download them. Just forward the link to the middle children in your life. They kind of capture that wonderful specialness of the relationship that the middle child has with their family. For example, there's a card that a parent could send to their middle child. The outside says, "We're so sorry we couldn't be with you to celebrate Middle Child's Day,"
mm-hmm.
and inside it says, "We're having dinner with your brother and sister." Just wonderful little warm moments. We have a belated greeting card there because obviously, since no one will remember today was Middle Child's Day, maybe after hearing this they remember and they could send the card tomorrow to celebrate what they should have today. We also have, I think, what is probably the world's first hand-me-down greeting card, which only seems appropriate because I think hand-me-downs played a big role in many middle children's life. I know it did for me because I grew up, wondering if I was wearing my brother's old underwear. So it has an effect on hand-me-downs. Play a big role in your life and have a lasting impact.
Yes. One other project you might want to do after the strike is wrapped up. And who knows how long it's going to last because Middle Child Day is today, but the strike doesn't have to end.
This is true.
You just keep going with it.
We can complain about it all year long. Now that you mention it, that's
there you have it.
Actually, a lot of people say that's what we do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wouldn't. It's not asking people to change their behavior much.
Yeah, because I was looking around here because if there's one go-to place, although sometimes you have to question the credibility of it at times, to find information on the quick for me during this program, it's Wikipedia. And Wikipedia has nothing when it comes to Middle Child Day. So there you go, Bruce. There's your next project. Because I did find a nice article from UPI that mentions you in it.
Yes, yeah. I was. Like I said, this is what it must feel like being a firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
I am not used to this. I was very pleased to see that.
Right, and the one thing I can say is I had mentioned when we were doing our initial interview about middle children that my brother is the middle child of 3, and I have a feeling that he knows what you're going through because he also is 56 years old.
Kindred spirits, yeah. I mean, send him over. Let him join the union. I'll send him a card. I hope you're sending your brother a card, Ted.
I'm glad you reminded me of that because I'm delinquent. I will admit that I have not. Because I get so busy in life that sometimes you forget these matters. And you probably heard that a few times in your life.
If it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be a middle child. So
that's it.
You owe him. That's at least a way of saying I'm sorry about giving you the whole middle child, middle child syndrome thing. It's a little way of making up, just remembering him for at least one day. Yeah,
but you want to know something? In this article here, you mention one wonderful example of a middle child. And the one thing is, in our household, my wife has become an addict when it comes to Downton Abbey. And Lady Edith on that program is a wonderful example of a middle child because, she's, basically she gets dumped upon an awful lot for a number of different reasons and a number of different ways.
that's our lot in life. I mean, it's interesting because you know the use of the word middle child now is even used. It's almost like it's a dirty word. When somebody says you're acting like a middle child, they're not complimenting you. They're not saying they think you're really swell. You know, and middle child is used metaphorically. I've heard people they'll say, North Korea behaves like a middle child. That's North Korea being, I mean, how do you think that makes us feel being compared to North Korea? I've heard other comparisons. Cleveland is the forgotten middle child of Ohio.
Oh,
I mean, ouch, being compared to Cleveland? Really, that's not nice.
Well, Bruce, you have this union now. You have the opportunity to exert power. You know, we all know about that in Racine and Kenosha. We have plenty of union activity here. So here's the story. Find out the source of these stories and do a class action lawsuit on behalf of middle children to each of these organizations for libel.
You are just, we might have to open up the management, the rank and file to. I think there's a position for you here, Ted.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I qualify though.
You do. You're sympathetic to the cause. Like I said, you've been around a middle child your whole life.
Yeah.
I think you've got the ideas that could move the International Middle Child Union forward.
Right.
And look, what you're already doing to help put middle children's rights at the forefront of Wisconsin and bringing it to the public is, I don't know if I told you this before, when they carve the Mount Rushmore of middle children, I would not be surprised at all to see your face up there. So we can't thank you enough. And again, when I say we, I mean me, enough for what you're doing for us. It really is. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, actually, be more apt to put your face up on that Mount Rushmore because
I didn't want. I don't know if I could handle that kind of attention. Like I said.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this is all new.
Well, there are other matters too. So we're talking about class action lawsuits. How about marches? Just doing a march.
Yeah, well, that means I'd have to leave the house. But okay, I'll try it.
Or else just recruit people who enjoy the outdoors.
Who like going out in public? Okay.
Yeah, it's like
that may be your own decision.
There's probably somebody like on the Outdoors channel or something like that, on one of those TV channels that or Nat Geo or something, who is a middle child that might not be adverse to being outdoors and starting this, being a part of this march for you. It's delegation what we're talking about, because look how many middle children there are, Bruce.
That's right. Well, but estimated like 70, depending on how you define a middle child, too. I mean, if you're not the firstborn or the lastborn, you're in the middle. So the numbers get really big. I saw someplace up to possibly 70 million worldwide.
Right.
So that's a big march.
And exactly, and it's also an opportunity for you to delegate something for all 70 million of those middle children to do along the way, too. I know that might make you tired, but there you go. There's your opportunity to really make a dent with this now. Yeah,
now we might need more than a year, though, to make this all happen. But again, I like this thinking.
Well, if you need any more ideas, you know where to find me. That's the neat part, Bruce. Bruce Hopman is the founder of the International Middle Child Union, and by the next time we talk to him, we'll know how to say "we are so screwed" in Latin.
Yes, and I want to thank, they call Philadelphia the city of brotherly love. I want to thank you for helping to make Racine the city of middle childly love, and I think I just made that word up, but you know where I'm coming from.
I like it a lot, and I have a feeling I'm going to pass it along to our mayor, John Dickert, to see if he might be a middle child. He might actually like it.
There you go, and we can translate that into Latin as well, so we're all good.
It sounds great. It might, if we translate it to Latin, it might mean a change in the name of the city too, but I'm not sure about how people would feel about that. Bruce, thanks for joining us, and continued success in your efforts to get some attention for the middle child.
I'm working on it. I'm doing the best I can.
Indeed, you are. Bruce, thanks again. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot,
no trouble. 450 right now at WRJN.